Hi, this is Shankarlin back at you again this month in the month of February for Black History. And tonight I am going to be talking with some women about women, Black women, their strength, their innovation, and with just a conversation. So sit back and enjoy this discussion about women in history and how they can focus on being better in the future. Tonight's guests are Rita Bell. She's a member of Grace Over 50, and she is a great friend. And also Delmetria, also known as D, who is also a member of Grace Over 50, and who we will be discussing things with tonight. So, first of all, how are you all tonight?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing fine.
I want to
Thank you.
thank you all so much for agreeing to come on. Rita, I know you were a little hesitant, but that's okay. We're just talking. This girlfriend talk.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having us, Shane.
Yes. So, ladies, let's jump into our first question. Is who is a black woman from history or your personal life who has inspired you the most and why? Who's gonna go
We
first?
can jump in anytime.
hmm I'll say my mom, and I say that because number one, she introduced me to books, and even more important, she introduced me to Black history and Black books. And that's almost like you'll never forget the day that. Well, that's my I'll never forget the day that because she was we had moved to Texas. I was on my way to college for the second time, and she gave me this book, and it was like this thick, and it was full of everybody Black, inventors,
Hmm.
writers, physicians,
I
engineers,
remember that
anybody.
book.
Like, you remember that book?
Uh-huh.
Because I was about to say, I think you were there with me that day, but yeah, I mean, and it was life changing for me because I really didn't know that Black people could. I mean, you know that you have all these things around, but you didn't know that I didn't know that Black people could just be.
Hmm.
So it's my mom.
Rita, what about you?
Okay. My mother. My mother inspired me because she was a devout Christian. She introduced us to Christ, to God. She instilled in us independence, not to depend on anyone, and family. She really stressed us being a family. uh,
Mhm.
not beefing or anything like that. She wanted us to all get along. She stressed education because that was something that she wasn't able to get. She
Mm.
grew up um, raising her siblings, so therefore she didn't have that opportunity, and she wanted us, all five of us, to have an education. So that was something she really stressed.
Mm. Moms are so special, but to me, I have to say that it was my grandmother. Um, she was just one of the sweetest persons that I know that I can think of. She would give you her last, but she also had a bunch of wise sayings. And I find myself saying a lot of the stuff that she said, and sometimes I just laugh. I'm like, "Ooh, Mama said that."
My children even say stuff that your grandmama said.
Mama, she was just so loved. She was so wise, and she was just humble. She was humble, a humble woman. She didn't wasn't flashy, but she was just
That's my mom.
down to earth, and she loved people. So I would say it was my grandmother. Yeah, moms, grandmothers, those are some special people, that influenced us a lot.
hmm
So, question number two. As a black woman over 50, What challenges have you overcome that have shaped your strength and resilience? Now I'm gonna start, okay? And I thought about this
Mm-hmm.
and I said, what challenges have shaped me? And I'm going to be totally honest. I would say it was my divorce. Um, I had to do it by myself. Um, Being in a different state from my family and going back home wasn't an option for me because there's nothing in Louisiana, number one. And I wanted my kids to have what, they were used to. So it taught me to buckle up, put your big girl panties on, and do what you got to do to survive on your own and don't have to depend on no one. Yes, I had a daddy. My grandmother was alive then, but still, you want to, you don't want to always have to call on people to bail you out of stuff. So, oh yeah, I would say it was my divorce.
Okay.
I'm gonna go last. On this
Okay.
one, I'm gonna go last.
Let me see. One more question again.
What challenges have
My
you overcome?
challenge was the loss of my daughter. That was a challenge to me
Mm,
Ooh, I can imagine.
because I did not like, seriously, I didn't think I was going to survive that. I really didn't think I was going to come out of that. And it takes a village. It really does. It takes a village. It takes friends like Shanklin, like you all, because it's like you was right there, to get me involved and stuff. Because I started staying. I was at home. I just got seclusive from everybody. I wanted to be in my own world. And then I saw once I joined Grace Over 50 and other different organizations and being with Shanklin, being with both of you all, there is other things for me to do besides grieve, you know. So I'm gonna say y'all was part of my village. That y'all were, and that's for real because I didn't think I was gonna survive that.
you are.
Um,
You're gonna survive.
I
yeah,
know.
because that's important. Friendships, friendships are almost as important, if not more, than relationships. Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
really are. Because when the relationship is gone, the friendships are always they usually stay
Mm-hmm.
intact.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm really am.
This is a loaded question for me because I couldn't decide. I mean, because I have three. I have three things that happened at different times in my life. Well, one is ongoing, but the first one I would have to say surviving an abusive relationship, and which was my first marriage. And I say that because when I, just like Shank said, her divorce, when I found myself needing, and I say needing to get a divorce in my 20s, it just made me feel like every stereotype that everybody has ever said about young Black females, I was the walking billboard for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to last. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
be a single mother for the rest of, nobody's going to want you because you got all these kids. And so I had to, that was one challenge that I had to get over, because at that point, my children were really, really small. And so you have to decide, who do I trust if I meet another man, and I was extremely lucky to find my husband now. And I don't say I found him, we kind of found each other. Um, but that was one, having to be a survivor of domestic violence is one challenge, I think. Another one is when my own daughter got shot. And that made me question every single thing, every turn I had ever made in my life. Where was I? What was I doing? For somehow I felt like it was my fault because I was not there for her, or I wasn't there enough, or what could I have done differently. And it was almost like I was boxing in my mind, because from the time she was little, um, me and Shank, our daughters are the same age, so we did everything to do what the books say, to put those preventative measures in place for your children. We were, they were in Girl Scouts, we were their Girl Scout leaders. They did cheer, we were their cheer moms and cheer coaches. And, we took them on trips and vacations, and we did all the things. And so I started asking myself, what did I do wrong for her to get in that situation? Even though, when you're grown, you make choices, I still question myself as a mother about the wrong turns maybe I made for her to end up getting shot. And so one of the things that I do now, I keep saying all the time, I'm going to try to make sure that I have a different relationship with her now moving forward than what I did before that time. And then my third challenge, which is the one that's probably been the hardest of all of them in my life, is just being different from everybody. I don't know how, I don't know why. I always say I try not to be, but I guess because I'm eclectic, eccentric, artistic, people always label me as different. And until I became an almost 50 adult, I thought something was wrong with that. Instead of saying that's who I am, like it, hate it, it's me. So it took me a long time to try to embrace that part of myself. And that's been a challenge with me trying to conform to corporate America, trying to conform to Black religion, me trying to conform to what motherhood and what wifehood and sisterhood and daughterhood should be, because I don't fit any of those traditional molds. So that's my biggest challenge at 50.
Oh, that was deep, Dale. I
For real.
read something today. I'm trying to find it because it says that the past is non-negotiable. So what happened in the past, like with Chelsea, you cannot hold yourself hostage to that. Like you said, yes, you have a different relationship with her now,
Mm-hmm.
where she can kind of like feel her way, um, of being more responsible and
Mm-hmm.
doing things differently. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say to you, don't let the past hold you. Don't hold on to that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that I think that's what the problem has been my whole life, is that I don't. I'll think about it, but I'm like, I ain't got time to be worried about that. I got to keep it moving, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So moving on, in what ways do you think Black women have innovated in areas of business, health, education, or activism? And do you see yourself as a part of that legacy? Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
I do. I think Black women have become more resilient and more business minded. They are really educated, and they are stepping out in the front, taking these leadership roles. We can look at Vice President Kamala Harris. Where how she has moved into the forefront of things for us as Black women, and just in our own neighborhoods, we know a lot of women who are starting businesses and are making a difference in their communities and all of that. So I think it's very uh, moving forward now with women um, ruling the world, as Beyonce said.
Yes. And I agree with that, because since the beginning of time, Black women, we've been one of the most resilient species of the human race
Hmm.
out of any other one, because this question, I mean, and it's a pretty new movie, but it just popped in my head when I saw this question. But what is it, 6888?
Hmm.
When I think about um, what Black women not only we've had to endure, what
Mm-hmm.
we continue to endure. But one thing about Black women is that we always make something out of nothing. We
Always.
always know how
Don't
to
make it happen.
we gonna make it happen. And when I
We
think
gonna make
about that
it happen.
movie, and I think about in areas like business, like the Hobbs woman, I think she's what's the Star Wars man named George Lucas, his wife, one of the most wealthiest Black women in business, and the advice that she gives, she's a leader in her field. And I think about health, and I think about like one of the very first Black doctors was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The first Black surgeon general was a
Mm-hmm.
woman, and then with education, that list is long. I
It's,
look at Black women in my family as educators, and you have with activism, you have people like, of course, you have the Kamala Harris's and the Michelle Obamas, and Mary McLeod, all those people. But you also have new people like
mm-hmm.
Jasmine Crockett
Jasmine,
who
yes.
are changing. They're changing
Right.
the landscape of how we have to communicate. What we think we have to still be in our place. Stand up for yourself, but make sure you don't get out of line. She all out the color line, and I
Mm-hmm.
love her for it.
I do
Uh,
too. I do.
yeah, because she said it. We got to stop being. They talk to us any kind of way, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not that she just wants to be vile in her language with people, but it's like, you're gonna get it from me how I get it from you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love that about her. And as far as how I see myself as an educator and as a writer, that's what I try to do every day. In education, I try to make sure that I'm always creating culturally responsive lessons. Kendrick Lamar, I've created units for Kendrick Lamar, Beyonce, James Baldwin, all the people that I feel like my students need to see from people who look just like them.
Mm-hmm.
And then writers,
And
I
that they
need,
can do
like,
it.
say it again.
I said that they can do the same thing. Be
And they can do the
leaders.
same thing. I love sharing my experiences with my
Mm-hmm.
students about, like I've lived in Asia and I'm a tea master and all the things that I am, because like me, when I was a teenager, they don't know that they could be those things. They didn't know that those people that look like them exist. And so I feel like that's a legacy I'm trying to leave in the area of education and writing for Black women and girls.
I think, yeah, I see myself as part of the legacy because I want to inspire women and I want women to stay inspired regardless of what area of life you are in. So, yes, with Grace Over 50, we want to, you know, be that motivator that push forward that women need to to their purpose.
Hmm. And I think,
Fight for the common goal. Fighting for the common goal to get ahead. Leadership. We're fighting for the
mhm.
common goal as Black women. And I think that's important to stand up and speak and not be afraid of the consequences, if you think it's going to be
Mhm.
consequences. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Hmm.
People listen. I think that's
And I
important.
think we need to accept that if there are going to be consequences, own that consequence.
Mhm.
When all this stuff
Right.
about DEI first came out, I started thinking, oh man, do I need to go change some of the language on my website? And then I have a whole another nonprofit that our tagline says that we are specifically here for writers of color. And I'm thinking I have to change all that. And I after I watched the Tabitha Brown thing when she started asking people to still shop at Target but just shop Black, I said, wait a minute, we're not doing that. We're not doing
Mm-mm.
that. I'm not changing what I stand for. I'm not finna try to appease Target or anybody else. And Target I put in air quotes. I'm going to own that I have an organization that is specifically for
For
writers of color.
mm-hmm.
And maybe I don't get government grants. Maybe I don't get federal funding, but that's okay because this is important. This is important work that we do, what we write, and we'll get the money from somewhere. We'll get it from somewhere.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I even think that being a part of Grace Over 50, a lot of people over 50, a lot of women over 50 don't feel like once I'm 50, I can start anew. And
Right.
so you can. And that's one reason I love being a part of this organization, because I want women to know, women over 50 to know that I mean, you can start. Some woman just got her degree
Mm-hmm.
at 76.
Mm-hmm.
And she's already thinking about being an entrepreneur and all the things, and she can.
Yes, we can. Rita, you have anything you want to add?
Y'all done said it all. You said it all.
So, how can we, as a community of women over 50, continue to uplift and empower the next generation of Black women?
Mentoring,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
mentoring, uh, supporting other women over 50 and guidance. Because some people don't, I mean, things change body wise, but then we have to learn how to get through it. You know, uh, volunteering to assist other people, other young people,
Mm-hmm.
and get in the direction of what we see. Volunteering at different nonprofits. I mean, we do a lot of volunteering, even when we go to the events, the different vendor events. We networking and putting
Mm-hmm.
ourselves out there that it is a group of ladies that's over 50 that like to share their experiences, their dreams, their hopes, you know. So that's the way I look at it on that point. We can empower others.
Yes, it's important.
And you don't
Dale?
have to be 50 to do
Mm-mm. I agree with what Rita just said, and I don't think I'm always an advocate for the younger generation, because I feel like we need to not necessarily we need to guide them, but it takes a village, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think not only I feel like we have a responsibility to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
one of the reasons I do have two nonprofits is so that when you finish with the teens, you can, still get the support you need as an adult in the adult writers group. And so I think a lot of times, especially Black women, because we can be a little heavy-handed when we're trying to give advice to young girls. And I think if we, like Rita said, more mentoring, and I would say developing, I'm sorry, and creating maybe like intergenerational partnerships and collaborations, instead of saying, girl, come on here, let me show you what to do. Maybe instead saying, girl, come on here and let's do this together and see what we come up with, you know.
exactly.
So we won't come off so preachy, because these young people today, you can't be preachy to them.
Uh-uh.
You cannot be preachy to them and think you will get any kind of response or result. You'll get a response. It's just not the one that you
You'll
expect.
lose them too.
You'll lose
We
them.
can
Yeah,
they
preaching
lose,
will
they
lose them.
lose
Yeah.
because they feel like everything you say, you preaching about it, and,
Mm-hmm.
and like they say, is what you say, how we advocate to them, how we
Right.
advocate to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. So, one of the Grace Over 50's goals is to partner with young women, and we do have some young women in the group, and that we are coaching.
You talking
And
about me?
yeah, right. Yeah, we do have some younger women in the group who are not 50, but they're coming along because they hope to get to this stage in life and need to see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
life is still good.
Yeah, life is still good. As long as you here, it's still good.
Uh,
Right, that's true.
and our last question. Wow. If you could give one piece of advice to a younger Black woman about navigating life with strength and purpose, what would it be? I'm going to
I
go first.
always take, I always take time for yourself.
Yes. Take time for yourself. I would say be you. Don't let anyone change who you are. Um, you are uniquely made, and God has a plan for you. So don't change who you are for to be a part of the status quo or anything like that. Be you.
I
Saying
would
no
say,
is okay.
I would say, own your voice and
Mhm.
trust your instincts. Trust your instincts, because one thing that I know about Black women, and I'm not saying women who are not Black don't have instincts, but it's something about the instinct of a Black woman that
Mhm.
is unmistakable and is unshakable. And I think if we stay true to that and teach the younger generation of women and girls how to be true to that and not second guess themselves, and um,
Mhm.
I mean, and even if you fail, and I mean, I don't even know what that is, because what me and my husband tell our kids and any young person we come across all the time is, get your L's fast, get them losses fast, so you can get them out of the way. If you think it's a failure, go ahead and get that failure out the way so you can go on and get to success.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say. I would just, especially as a writer, own your voice and trust your instincts.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, y'all, this was a good, quick conversation about strength and innovation. We are some resilient women, and I
Hmm.
know that we are going to continue to thrive, and we are going to be well. So I want to thank you all for joining me tonight to talk about Black women and our strength and our innovation. We are some great people, and you all individually are great to me. I just love you.
Oh, we love you too. Thank
Love
you.
you too.
So, thank you all again. You have any last words?
This
What's
was
the E?
great.
No, okay.
Check our website out, www.graceover50.com, .org. Oh my God, graceover50.org. And stay tuned to what we have coming up. We have some plans, y'all. We are going to be working with Dallas College, and we are claiming these workshops are coming to pass, and events are lined up. So stay tuned, and thank you all for watching. Good night.
Good
Good
evening.
night.